Supreme Court Justice Richard Sanders. I'm here to tell you not only why I want my government job back, but why you should help that to happen. As Kirby said on Wednesday night, I am told your Central Committee unanimously endorsed me for the Supreme Court. Yes, Republicans can fight like bull elephants during the day, but at the end of the day, they can repair to those values that unite us all: liberty, the rule of law, protection of individual rights. That's what we all stand for. I am running for the open seat on the state Supreme Court created by the pending retirement of Justice Tom Chambers. Tom has endorsed me to take his seat. Pending retirement of Justice Tom Chambers. Tom has endorsed me to take his seat. As many of you know, I served on the court for 15 years, only to lose an extremely close election in 2010 by a hair. I received over 49.65% of the vote statewide, and yes, this is a statewide race. The two principal candidates for this position who have already announced and filed come from an extremely partisan background. Judge Bruce Hillier lost twice for the King County Executive, running as a Liberal Democrat before seeking the bench. John Ladenburg lost his Democrat challenge against Rob McKenna for Attorney General before he decided to run for the state Supreme Court. All in all, these two ran for partisan offices 8 times and lost 4 times before seeking refuge on the bench. I, on the other hand, only ran for the judiciary. The judiciary is different. Only the judiciary is dedicated to protecting the rights of the individual. But there are too many judges in this state who put the government interest before protecting private rights. That is the real choice this year for the people of this state. The Washington Constitution provides it is the very purpose of government to protect and maintain individual rights. That's exactly what I did while I served on the court. I heard over 1,700 cases and wrote over 600 opinions. In every one of those cases and in every one of those opinions, I fought for the rights of the private citizen. A few nights ago, Channel 13, KCPQ Television, the Fox station, ran a news story about me. And they said Sanders is running for the state Supreme Court and he has controversial views. Well, let me share a few of those controversial views with you. I am a staunch defender not only of the right to own property, but to actually use it. In one majority decision, I held that Spokane City Council members are individually liable for arbitrarily interfering with a private citizen's right to develop his property. In another majority decision, I held the Second Amendment's right to keep and bear arms applies to the states. We were the first state in the Union to clearly hold this. And I like to think that the U.S. Supreme Court was following our lead when 3 or 4 months later, it concurred. Perhaps because of my record on gun rights, the Gun Owners Action League and the NRA has endorsed me for this election. I believe that ownership of a firearm is a civil right just as important as any other. I was a champion of religious liberty. Did you know that Clark County had zoned against establishing a church as a matter of right in every one of its zones? You were permitted to build a house, a factory, a porno theater as a matter of right, but not a church. I fought hard for religious liberty under our state constitution, but the Open Door Baptist Church lost its case and closed its doors forever. I fought for open government by strictly enforcing the Public Disclosure Act. I fought for the taxpayer. When I gave a presentation at a tax seminar last year, the lawyer that introduced me was a baseball fan. He said that Ichiro was doing darn well. He was batting over 300. But Justice Sanders was off the charts because I stood with the taxpayer more than 80% of the time. Perhaps that partially explains why the Washington Association of Business, the Rental Housing Association, and the Washington State Realtor Association have all endorsed my candidacy. I fought for the right of initiative and referendum. It's in our Constitution, you know. I wrote in dissent that the Mariner Stadium tax was not a public emergency, but it was a legitimate subject for referendum. The court recently held 5-4 that citizens have no right to subject local red light camera ordinances to popular referendum. Had I been on the court, it also would have been 5-4, but the other way around. At every turn, I was faced with the claim that government is somehow special and that we should presume it is right when it is really wrong and when it is violating private rights. I never bought it. I always fought it. I had a record number of dissents because I believe in principle, not accommodation. And I was consistent across the board. I protected the rights of everyone who came to court, no matter who they were or what their personal circumstances were. I believe that's what judges are for, and I guess that's what makes me a controversial candidate. You know, we have a very good chance to take this seat back, but it'll take a dedicated grassroots effort and a dedication of each of you individually to help out in this campaign. Remember the primary on August 7th. For the judiciary, it's different. If a candidate gets more than 50%, he's elected. It's all over. Only one name goes to the final ballot. Yes, it's sort of a communist-style election, but if I was the one name, I'd like it. If it's a plurality, that individual has #1 ballot position. That's very significant in a judicial race at the bottom of the ballot. Lots of people don't know what in the heck is going on. So the primary is important. I hope you'll participate. Do everything you can. Sign up for the fight at my website, friendsofjustice.com, friendsofjustice.com, or see me at the table downstairs, fill out an envelope. Richard Sanders for Supreme Court. We can win this. Thanks so much.